Mr. Goldstein. Good afternoon. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Chairman Grasso, thank you for holding this roundtable discussion today. My name is Scott Goldstein, the founder and executive director of EmpowerEd, a teacher empowerment group working to build trust and teacher leadership in D.C. schools. For the past 10 years, I've been a teacher and taught in both D.C. charter and public schools. And for many, the past year has represented a shaking of confidence in the public school system we were promised was on a historic rise. But what this revealed to me and so many of the professionals who have inhabited this space for the past decade is that we have more to do to have the voices in our education system heard and acted upon before the media spotlight forces the issue. It's no longer enough to listen to students, teachers, parents, and community members. We have to make sure their voices are integral to school and district decision-making. EmpowerEd is mobilizing teachers, both public and public charter, with a common goal: create a system that is more collaborative and less oppositional than the one we have now. Our goal is to lift the voices of teachers to improve schools. You'll hear from EmpowerEd teachers today about a broad range of issues, from school discipline to curriculum flexibility and charter transparency. EmpowerEd doesn't take a stance on each of these issues. Our goal is to elevate the voices of these teachers and allow their advocacy to take center stage, whatever that may be, because we believe that a system that is informed by its primary practitioners is one that will be a better system for our students. There's a lot of good happening every day in DC schools right now. DCPS is providing a wide array of options for students, both within and outside classroom walls. Students are studying abroad. Outside partnerships are connecting students to job and internship opportunities like never before. We're increasing dual language programs across the city. To cater to demand, we built state-of-the-art facilities that show that we value our students. Many of our charter schools serve unique student populations and experiment in ways we can learn great lessons from, whether that be family literacy programs, serving overage and undercredited students, language immersion beyond Spanish, and much more. But we have to fight to have a more unified system in which autonomy doesn't only exist in charters and accountability doesn't only address DCPS. We can and must have a rigorous process for recruitment and hiring of new teachers across DC schools, one that prioritizes educators of color, content experts, and passionate, inspired educators who can innovate to address the complex needs of our students. As turnover has increased, we've also lost out on experienced teachers who have long-lasting relationships with students. I've known myself two experienced and dynamic educators at the same school who have retired early this year due to a climate where messages, both subtle and explicit, have told them they can be replaced by younger teachers at half the cost and the school won't lose out. Teacher-student relationships matter, and that's why we should never accept arguments that somehow teacher churn is a positive. Numbers that cite only the retention of highly effective teachers are isolated from the reality that our evaluation systems have often substituted experienced teachers for new ones and disproportionately impacted teachers of color. Research shows that teachers are not their most effective until years 3 to 5, and perhaps more importantly, teachers are not numbers. They are individuals who impact the lives of our students in so many ways beyond test scores, by connecting them to opportunities through personal counseling and advice, and by inspiring them to learn and lead every day. This committee has begun an extended dialogue to step back and evaluate whether, after a decade of education reform in DC, we're headed in the right direction or need to make any mid-course corrections. Growing out of this year's controversies has been increased voice of teachers, students, parents, community members, and advocates alike. But we also know that teachers raised their voices about these concerns before the media, and until news reports prompted public outcry, little was done to address them. So now it's time to take the next step. DC schools have long listened to teacher voice, but not heard. Talk alone is not enough. Leadership opportunities can no longer be consigned to teacher cabinets and roundtables. We need to establish real structures to ensure these important voices in all schools are not used to affirm policies that are already designed or as middlemen to implement someone else's ideas, but as real decision makers. We also need to ensure the structures that we already have in place, like LSATs and others, are utilized properly. Throughout the country, teacher-led schools have demonstrated that when teachers take the lead, we can increase innovation and begin problem solving for our students, rather than implement whole district initiatives that are ill-equipped for high-need, high-poverty schools where local leaders need the autonomy to problem solve for their unique population. We should work towards this end here in DC. Significant research shows a correlation between increased teacher leadership and student achievement. Today you'll hear from several teachers ready to lead, and we look forward to bringing their voices front and center every day in our schools to build a system that is empowering for everyone involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.